Welcome to Next Steps, a podcast from Blackhawk Church. We believe that following Jesus is a lifelong journey, so no matter where you're at, there's always a next step to take. Each week on this podcast, we'll create space for real conversations about the questions we wrestle with, the challenges we face, and the hope we find in Jesus. Our goal isn't to have it all perfectly figured out, but to walk faithfully towards Jesus together. We're so glad you're joining us. Let's dive in.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the first Next Step episode of 2026. We took a little break for January, and I'm sure you guys all missed this in your podcast feed. But today we are back, and we're actually doing something a little unusual, a little fun. I have Pastor Matt, Pastor Charles with me today to spend some time reflecting on this past year and then looking ahead to kind of what we're anticipating and praying towards for our community as we start 2026. So a lot of just this little look back, look forward to accompany our year in review that we just released this past week. So guys, thanks for being here with me.
Hey, Tiff, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So fun.
So fun.
Sitting here in your office and with Mr. Isaac Mitchell in the room right now making us all sound good. So
good.
Thank you, Isaac.
That.
I don't know if you know this. You probably don't. Why would you? But he likes to edit these podcast episodes while watching football.
Do you really?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's the time where you do it, watching football. Is it college football or pro football? Which of the two?
It was pro football.
Pro football.
It was
It
until
was pro
Packers.
football, but now that we're down to the Final Four, you're like, I'm not all that interested anymore. I can respect that. I totally respect that.
it's good.
So it's good. Yeah, for sure.
Fun. All right. So you guys, let's jump into the conversation. I think, I know for many of us and maybe some of us in our community, this is something that we do looking back, looking forward.
Sure.
The week after Christmas, before New Year's, in our personal lives, right?
Yep.
Hey, okay, what do I want to think about for this new year? What do I want to change? But I think there's some merit of doing that as a community as well. And so that's kind of what we're hoping to do this
absolutely.
year.
I one of the things that I loved when our team brought together the 2025 year in review, which we just talked about last, I don't know, by the time that this is actually being put out there online, probably a couple weeks of talking about the review, actually taking time to go through it. It was so incredibly encouraging.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a pretty good, clear picture of what God did this past year. But to go back and look at it all in one place, it was just such a great reminder of all the different things that God was doing through our church this year.
It's because it's so easy to just feel like, okay, what happens next? What do we need to prepare for next? And what are we planning? But to be able to look back and say, oh, wait a second, God has been super faithful to our community and so good.
Gotta celebrate the past.
Gotta celebrate the past.
Gotta celebrate the past.
So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I'm really bad at actually taking the time to look back. I just don't think about it. And most people, if they were to ask me, so how was 2025? I'd be like, good.
Okay.
It was good.
It happened.
Yeah,
exactly. It's done.
Can't really remember, but I bet it was great. I don't have any bad feelings about it.
But getting into the details, it was
Absolutely.
really good.
Cool. So, as you all look back, I'd love to hear, what are some things that really stick out to you about our church community 2025? It could be anything. It could be events that we did or patterns that you've seen or sermon series, anything that really comes to mind.
Yeah. This is obviously a little bit more personal, but man, 10-year anniversary of Blackhawk Chinese Ministry.
Yes.
Seriously.
It's been
10
10
years.
It's pretty wild.
No one has had a more, front row seat to that than you, Charles.
It was kind of hard to remember, 2015, we got our first Sunday service off the ground, and there I am trying to preach in Chinese. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting.
Yeah, some people may not know that you.
That's what I was going to say.
Right,
I was the first Blackhawk Chinese Ministry pastor.
Yeah.
I preached in Chinese every Sunday. This is where it's a little weird here. I immigrated from Taiwan when I was 10 years old. I have a fourth grade level in Chinese. Fourth grade level. Imagine you have a fourth grade level in English, and you're up there preaching every Sunday. They were so kind to me. It's amazing.
Of course,
They were very, very gracious, but I think they all breathed a sigh of relief when we actually hired Charles Huang, our current pastor of Chinese ministry.
And when you started everything with that ministry, I mean, that was volunteer and then really part-time, wasn't it?
Yes, I was 50% when we got going.
Yes.
So we got a whole bunch of people working together and got that Sunday worship off the ground, and then for outreach to visiting scholars and community groups, student outreach, all kinds of stuff. So and then Charles Huang has come in and has really taken off in terms of deeper spiritual formation. Great work with BC Chem, Blackhawk College,
Yes.
age ministry, Chinese ministry on campus. So
Yes.
no, it's and then the Chinese New Year celebrations they've been pulling off year after year after year. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
So that ministry has really grown, it's really flourished, and 10 years here at Blackhawk Church.
There is some of it, I think that for a lot of us at Blackhawk, that we just sort of take it for granted that it's just what we do. It's just who we are. And it's not that surprising any longer. There were a group of 5 college students that came out to Brader Way this past Sunday that I was talking with, and it was for all of them except one, it was their first time ever at Brader Way. So I was giving them a little bit of a tour, and they had been at the 1045 service, and so I took them over to the BCM service. They were floored. Like when they walked in, their eyes just got so wide. They were like, what is this? They could not believe that we had a service that was very similar to what we were doing in the services in English happening in Chinese, and that was all just a part of our community. Yes. They were blown away by it, and it was so fun to be able to see it through their eyes because it just becomes so normal
for us.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah.
So cool.
So 10 years in, that's kind of cool.
years.
And on top of that, this year we get to see the launch of the Spanish ministry. Right?
No
So-
kidding.
Oh, it has been such a highlight.
I know. I feel like it's one of the things. I mean, I don't think we can talk about it too much. I mean, the way that God has blessed our church to see that we have a weekly Spanish-speaking service of this vibrant group of people from how
So
many
many
different countries?
15, 17.
something
I
like
thought
that.
17 or 18 different
20
countries.
countries, yeah.
So, and to see that just as a part of our community, and they love being a part of our community. I was at prayer last night at Brader Way, and there were a group of people from Spanish service that came in to that. And I've gotten to know some of them, and a few of them speak English, and a few of them don't. But they all just came over. They were hugging me, and we were talking back and forth with as my best Spanish that I can do, which is really pathetic, and their best English they could do, and a little bit of translation. And but they just feel like this is their church home.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
seeing what's going on there, Eliud is a part of our staff team.
Yes.
Eliud and Jimena, they are amazing.
Amazing human beings.
Yes.
I want to be like them when I grow up. They
No
are incredible.
kidding.
Incredible.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
Um,
and
I
God
was-
brought
yeah.
them here.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't go and find it's just like, okay, so sometimes we talk about, hey, the stuff we do around here. We didn't do this one.
No.
God,
No.
I think the
God
best
does
stuff we
things.
don't
We don't do.
try
We don't
to do.
try.
He just is like, okay, you guys, I'm hitting you over the head by a 2x4.
Wake
This
up.
is what I'm
Can we stop
doing.
planning? Let's just stop planning meetings. Just no more. We're done. No more plan for next year. Just notice, pay attention, see what God is up
Yeah,
to.
Yes.
that's
Because
right.
this one was like, oh, here's a guy who's showing up. He's a pastor in Colombia.
Yeah.
He's at our church now because he's a refugee. And we're
And
like,
he starts on our facilities team.
yes.
That's
Which
right.
is
That's right. I totally forgot
unbelievable.
about that.
And then
It's unbelievable.
And then caring for people and taking care of people and teaching Sunday schools and Bible. We're like, okay, let's get to know this person.
Yes.
And then, wow.
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
incredible.
I was talking to somebody in Spanish ministry yesterday, and they said this past week there were 200 people worshiping together on Sunday, which is I remember when it was
Just
like 10
amazing.
people
Yes.
in the fireside room studying,
Yes.
doing a Bible study.
Yes.
And just watching it grow and just
Yeah.
expand, and them doing just 2 layers of chairs around the fireside because they couldn't all fit in there, and just incredible.
Man, and to see that group of people now, I mean 200 strong this past week, and to see that group not just building community, but actually trying to reach community. I feel like one of my favorite events of the year, I know we'll talk about different
That's
events.
good.
One of my favorite events of the year was the Hispanic Heritage event
Oh, yeah.
that happened out on the I was at the East Lawn.
East Lawn.
I should know this. I'm the senior pastor here. I should know what the lawn
I
is.
wouldn't know what it's called.
So, but
lawn.
I
It's
know.
grass.
But walking out there
Yeah.
and just seeing everything that was taking place.
Oh my gosh.
In the like hundreds and hundreds of people, so many of them who showed up for that event who have never darkened the doors of our
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
People were driving an hour, 2 hours
Wow.
to get to
Wow.
this place.
Wow.
It was. They were drawing people from all over the region. It was wild.
It was
Incredible.
amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Just really amazing. And I never knew that our Spanish pastor could dance as well as he actually can.
I missed
at that
it.
event. Oh my gosh.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
whole different level of respect. So, but just seeing his vision and Mena's vision, I mean, for that leadership team coming around, seeing something like that happen, to see that community who are so new with such a heart to reach people who don't know Jesus.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Definite highlight.
Well, I'm looking forward to 10 years from now. We're talking about the 10-year anniversary of Spanish language
kidding.
ministry.
Put it on your calendars, y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Get ready
And we're
to
going to go, what's
celebrate.
it going to look like then?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
It's really
Ooh,
true.
That makes me get a little tingles on my arm.
Yeah.
That's exciting
Yeah.
to think
Yeah.
about 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. All right. Do you want
Yeah.
where do you want to go from here?
Yeah,
are
what
we-
else? What are there any other things that stand out? Maybe sermon series.
Oh, well, hey, I don't know what you guys thought, but this is kind
I
of
don't know if you liked them.
well, that's kind of the problem, right? It's like, wait, I'm talking, and I helped to design many of these series, and so highlight really should be I should be asking you guys what you thought was a good sermon
Right.
series.
Yes.
But the
truth.
one we put a lot of heart and energy into is the Revelation series. That was last spring.
Yes.
That was interesting. I mean,
We were a little nervous. Well, I don't know if you
Yeah.
were.
Well,
Some of us were a little nervous. Like, will people this is a long series. Like, is this gonna? Do people want
And the
to
book of Revelation is a
learn
little
from the
we- it's
book
a
of
little weird.
Revelation? Are they gonna stick
Yeah.
with us? And it is podcast recording. Like, looking at the stats. Are the Next Steps podcast that was the most popular, most listened to because I think it's fascinating, and I think the
Absolutely.
way that we talked about it really helped us to see that it's not just something in the future, but it's actually a text that God works through now. And I
Yeah.
think that was really
Yeah.
just framing it and helping us to see that it's not just something that we avoid, that we skip over, but that there's something there for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for your
There
work
are
on
still
that.
people who come to me and talk about
Wow.
that series.
Wow.
Yeah.
So and talk about just the impact that
Yeah.
that had
Yeah.
on their lives.
Yeah.
So
Man.
yeah.
Well, we haven't done it for a while, and we were,
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, I don't, maybe rightly a little nervous about it because I think it is a book that is difficult to read, and there's controversy surrounding
Yeah.
how to interpret the book.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, we did it, and I think we were pleasantly surprised by
Yeah.
how well it was received,
Yeah.
and relieved that it did not create any kind of, because we're not here to poke things and
Yeah.
create problems. That's not the
Yeah.
goal.
We don't
The
want to
goal-
argue. We don't want to overlittle
we,
things.
We don't want to be
and-
debating an
Yes.
argument. We're not trying to win arguments. We're trying to
Mm.
help people read the Bible
Yeah.
and engage God,
Yeah.
encounter God, and be transformed.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the goal.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so we're not trying to oh no, we're having this huge little point about this thing. That's not the goal.
Yeah.
So we're glad that didn't happen, and so we're very grateful for that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
good.
good. Okay, another series that I loved personally, and actually it's another one that people have told me how grateful they are that we did it, but they didn't know what they thought of it going into it, was the Overlooked series.
Oh, yes.
The Overlooked series with overlooked books,
Yep.
overlooked
Overlooked
characters.
Yeah.
And I had people who, when they heard about it, they kind of went, wah, wah.
You guys phoning it in for the
really?
summer?
We're going to talk about the books. There's reasons why no one talks about
Exactly.
these books, and we're actually going to try to talk
overlooked
about
for
them.
a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yet, to get to the depth of what was going on with a bunch of those characters and a bunch of those books, people were like, it opened my mind
Yes.
to areas of scripture that I have never spent any time in before.
Kind of re-sparked some hunger. For
Yes.
like, oh, there's things I might know the Bible
Yes.
Yeah.
pretty well, but there's things that, there's gems there that I
Yeah.
haven't found yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing with a series like that, because the reality is we're going to always tackle kind of the majors, the big chunks, the big ideas, the big books, the big themes. Some of the smaller stuff, we're just like, we're not going to spend a whole semester on this tiny little book.
Right.
And so having an overlooked series, maybe once in every few years, kind of like grab some of the stuff that gets
Yeah.
dropped and gets neglected, that there are gems really.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good idea. I don't know who came up with this.
Yeah, I don't
Somebody
know.
came up with
I
it.
mean, teaching
Yeah.
team, who knows?
Who
But
knows? Yeah.
I think some of the conversation was that we were talking about some of these books and looking at the idea of doing series on them, and we were like, I don't know if we can pull a 4-week series off of that. But all of a sudden, we thought, what if we were to do kind of a high level,
Yeah.
perspective on some of these books, just to be able to get into them. We
Yeah.
could call it Overlooked, and because it seemed like there were all of these different books that we were looking at. I don't know, as we get together as a
Yeah.
teaching team every 6 months or so to
Right.
plan out other sections, and it was like they were staying up there, and we
Yeah.
thought, I wonder if we could do something
Right.
different. But
And the overlooked characters
it was
too.
good. Yeah,
Those-
absolutely.
yeah, you just they're minor characters, but
Yep.
they pack a punch.
Yeah.
I think that's what's really
That's
important.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
So
For sure.
So-
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. So if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't checked out the Revelation series or the Overlooked series, you got a
Hop
bunch of
onto our
stuff to go
website.
listen to.
Yep,
Come
they're all
on.
there. Yep,
Exactly.
that's great. That's great.
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Yeah.
Yeah,
before we go
totally.
into
Okay,
2026?
so something else that I loved that we had a chance to be able to do this year was our one night celebration.
yes.
So
Yeah,
for
yeah.
volunteers, I
That's fun.
loved that night so much. There was just something so cool. For all of you listening who are really, you serve around here, regardless of whichever site, or even we have people who just serve through everything that we do online. But to have a night for all of us to be able to gather in one place, one location, to worship God together, to say thank you, just to have fun, and to kind of remember why we do what we do. There was something so powerful
Yeah.
about that night.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love it. I remember one of my most distinct memories of the year was when worship started in that room. And a lot of times, for Charles or myself or Tiffany, when you're hosting, we're sitting in the front row, in the east side. Sometimes when I'll do it in the other places, you'll be sitting in the front row, whether it be downtown or Fitchburg or, Gospel Fusion, wherever. But I distinctly remember the sound from behind me of people singing was louder than what was coming from the stage. And that does
Hardly
not
ever
happen
happens.
very often. And let me tell you that, the team had music cranked up that night.
Yes.
So, it was coming strong, and yet voices from behind were louder than the voices from the front. I just I just teared up through the whole thing. Just going, man, I just love this community of people. The chance to be able to worship together that way. Oh, it was powerful.
So fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. It reminds me of that night. There was maybe a group of maybe 10 middle school girls right in the front row
Yes.
with their arms around each other
Yes.
and just worshiping God. And I think for me, that represents over this past year, just like this increase in ownership of some of our students.
Yes.
Where they are really saying like, hey, this is not a church for me. This is my church. And
Yes.
so I'm going to show up. I'm going to serve. I'm going to invite people. Like I'm going to run around the atrium. Right?
Yes.
Like this is my church and it's not just somewhere I go. And that has been so exciting for me to see. And such and just get to know some of these, in particular, young women, but I know there's a bunch of guys too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moment I was in the atrium afterwards when people started doing dancing,
Dance
lane
party.
dancing. It
We
was
didn't
like-
plan that.
Didn't
That was
nobody
not
plan
on
that,
the-
for sure.
But they were
Yes.
dancing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the DJ, and I'm like, oh yeah, we are a church to have fun together.
Yes,
And
that's
Just
right.
this is
throw
so
on a
cool.
little church clap and things
Yeah.
get a little crazy.
Yes.
Totally.
So
And if you weren't dancing, you really enjoyed watching it. So
For
I think we were
sure.
all just really
Yeah.
enjoying that
yeah,
together.
that was a cool
It's fun.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
good.
Really good.
Well, y'all, as we look forward to 2026, what are you guys looking forward to as you're thinking about, dreaming about? I know we don't know the future. We don't know what God has up in store for us, but what are you hoping for? What are you looking forward to this year?
Yeah, it's probably good that you turned us from 2025 because I felt like I could have just kept going.
I know, of course.
With the
Yes,
amount, I
yes,
could have easily just
yes,
kept going with
yes.
more stories. But 2026, man, it's funny. I feel like as one of the leaders around here, sometimes I can feel pressure to like, okay, what is the goal and the vision for a particular year? And one of the things that I feel like in looking back that I realize is that we make plans, God determines our steps. Proverbs 16:9.
Yes.
We make all kinds of plans of what it is that we're hoping God's going to do. And then he drops a Spanish ministry in our lap. We make plans, God determines our steps. And so I've got all kinds of things that I'm excited about that I'm praying that God would do, but I also feel like by the time that we're recording next year's one, it's going to be really interesting to look back
That
like at
will
this
be.
moment
Is there
and be like,
anything that we talked about that God
Do you
did?
want to have it recorded?
right, exactly.
So we can do a compare and contrast. Like,
Yes.
that didn't work. That
Yeah.
happened. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
would
feel
be
like
interesting.
God could listen to something like this and be like, "Oh, that's so adorable
Sweet
that
little
thing. They think
babies,
that's
you don't
what
even
I'm
know."
gonna do. Now
Yeah.
let's look back and see what really happened."
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So, one thing that I feel like I am excited about, and we're right now. I have heard such good things about the series that we're in actually right now, Beneath the Surface. I mean, this morning I was at prayer downtown. Shout out to Blackhawk downtown and all of you who go down there. But I was at prayer early this morning. They're doing the 6:30 in the morning session, and was talking with a young woman at the end, and she was like, "Matt, you have no idea how impactful this series has been." She said, she said, when I came into this series, I wasn't thinking I had issues with any of these things. And now so far as we've gone through it, I've realized, yeah, I got big issues in all of them.
Yes.
And how powerful it's been
Wow.
for her to just be
Yeah.
in conversations with her community group and
Yeah.
about like what's really going on in her heart that she didn't realize was there.
Yes.
And so she's like, we only have a couple more weeks, right? Because I'm not sure how much
How
of this
much
I can
more can I
take.
handle?
Every
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is. I love this series because it's going deep. It's going to the deeper places of the heart. And I think when we talk about, I mean, this is why I love that we have transformation as one of our distinctives. Because the key to transformation is you got to know how. We all say we're sinners, but how? How are you broken? How am I broken? And you need to be able to know that in order to be able to participate with the Holy Spirit, help you to move away from that, move out of that. And so, I mean, I think this is like, I feel like this series has been soul surgery.
Yeah.
Unveiling,
that's a good-
pulling apart, unveiling. If you're
That's
willing
a
to
good
do
way
the
of
work,
Yeah, that's a good way of saying
if
it.
you're willing to do the
Absolutely.
work,
Yes.
just unveiling layers and see, oh, there's thing. Okay, how do we go about bringing healing? And I think the speakers have been so masterful in this series.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 I'm looking forward to the next one, which is the Exodus series.
Exodus.
The reality is this: is that it's a big series, but it's going in a similar direction. It's to help you to understand that, hey, being transformed, having a deep relationship with God, being part of a community, that's all part of salvation. That salvation is actually a bigger concept than we realize. And so I think I wanted for Blackhawk, at the end of the series, to go, okay, I get what the Bible means by salvation. It's so much more than my sins are forgiven and I'm going to heaven.
Yeah, keep going with
So
that.
much more than
Okay,
that.
Charles, this is good because you're our resident theologian and you're our Old Testament guy.
Yes.
And so
And we haven't done Old Testament in a while, so I'm pretty happy. Like, how did that happen?
So keep going with that.
Yeah.
What are the because sometimes I think for any of us we can easily look at it and go, yeah, okay, there's the Old Testament and then there's the New Testament.
Right.
And we spend more time in the New Testament. The New Testament's more applicable to our lives now.
Yes.
So from the perspective of the Old Testament, I know you don't think that way.
Yeah.
When it comes to Old Testament, New Testament, which is more relevant, what are the things that you're really hoping people are going to grab onto in the series?
I think the key. This is where I don't do Old Testament versus New Testament,
Right.
Because it's one story. The New Testament is actually based on the pattern of the Old Testament.
Right.
So New Testament writers, they're writing about Jesus, and they're writing, okay, Jesus is in the pattern of Old Testament stories.
Yes.
So Jesus is the king, Jesus is the prophet, Jesus is the temple, right? It's like, oh, he's all of those things. That's interesting. The salvation. Oh, what does it mean to be saved? Well, we're going to base that off these act of salvation in the Old Testament, which is the story of Exodus. And if you read the story of Exodus, and we're going to get to this in this series once you get there, you will see the story of Exodus is divided into three sections. Being delivered from slavery and oppression, being joined to God in a covenant relationship, and then where you have a mission, and then experiencing the presence of God, having maybe in a key moment, having a face-to-face encounter with God. That's the movement of salvation. Moves from escape from slavery to committed to God with a mission to deep encounter with God.
Yes.
Now that's how the New Testament writers see salvation.
Yes.
And they see what Jesus on the cross accomplishes. So we're going to hopefully get into all that. But I think that to me is like when you read the New Testament and you don't realize the Old Testament connections, you're missing, I don't know, 90% of the New Testament. Sorry. Okay, speaking as an Old Testament scholar, if you just read the New Testament by itself, you're going to miss almost everything. Because the writers are like, no, it's all based on the Old Testament.
Yeah. It's good.
That's good.
It's good.
There's your trailer for the series right there.
And I think we're going to get to talk about it even more and maybe next week. So that'll be fun to dive in a little more.
That's good.
Let's see. What else? What do we have coming after that? So we have a spiritual practices series.
For the 21st century. Updated, right?
Yes, that's right.
You're the captain for that. Tell us more about this.
Well, we are, Chris Goff and I, we're designing that one. And so we're going to be taking some practices that the church has, practiced for centuries and kind of giving a modern day spin on some of those things as it relates to the things that we deal with today and what are the things that we feel like our soul's in danger of that, and then what are the practices that we can do to combat some of those. And so some of those are going to be ones that we've talked about in the past. Some are going to be a little bit different. And so I know Chris and I are really excited to
That's cool.
To finish that one up.
That's awesome. It's really good.
Yep.
Really good. A couple other things that I get excited about. So coming up not long from now is snow camp for middle school and high school. And man, what God is doing in our middle school and high school ministry is just so cool.
Yes.
And knowing that, they've had to go back to the places that they were going to, asking for more spots because there are more students that want to come than they had even planned for.
Yes.
I don't know. There's something about that is just really exciting. So it's the same type of stuff, Tiff, that you're talking about with the amount of students that we see who are serving around here. And that number just continues to bump up. I loved being able to, this past week when I was speaking and looking back, one of the cameras was being run by a middle school guy. I love that.
Yeah.
And he didn't know
That's
anything
great.
about this stuff, but our tech team has just taken so many of these students under their wing and they're loving it. So just loving the way they can serve.
Yeah, it's been cool to even hear stories of our middle school, high schoolers starting Bible studies like on their own, in their schools, in their homes, inviting their teams, whatever sports team they play on, and just the boldness and the love and passion that these students have for their friends and are unashamed to share the hope that they have. And it's just right now it's a really some of you have students, you kind of get the vibe, but it's incredible. I haven't seen this kind of spiritual openness in a really long time. And so it's been really encouraging as a parent and as a pastor to see these students really stepping into the moment.
For sure. I've seen it in our college ministry.
Oh, yes.
Where I'm having conversations with college students and they're coming to me and they're like, hey, can we talk about evangelism and how to share our faith? Because, and I'm thinking
normally people don't want to talk about that.
Right, exactly. Normally I feel like
Who
I'm
are you?
kind
What's
of,
going on here?
That's the no-show nights. I think I'm busy.
You're trying to peel back the curtain on that one, and it's like, who really wants to listen to what I have to say? But they're coming to me, and they're like, well, we're like on a Friday night, going to the store, buying a bunch of food, taking it out on the streets, like giving food to people who don't have anything and asking them if they want to hear about Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, and they're doing that on their own. There's not a leader who's telling them to do that. They're just going out on their own.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this type of boldness and willingness to step into the awkward and uncomfortable, maybe ever in my ministry years. And that's going back from like when I was a part of like evangelism classes and things like that I was taking. But it felt a little bit, even with me back then, like, you're kind of pulling teeth to get me to actually do that. These students are hungry for it.
But that's the way it's supposed to be work. I mean, it's like we feel like sometimes the church is all about leaders setting down plans. Like, no. When it's working right,
Yes.
when it's working right, the body is alive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every
that's
single
good.
person is part of the body,
It's so
and
true.
they're alive. What we're saying is, hey, inviting people, talking to people about Jesus, building a community to reach a community, that's our value.
Yeah.
That does not mean that everything that happens is because we create a program for it.
Yeah.
Right.
What should be happening is everybody's going, oh, building a community, reach a community. I should build a community. I should reach a community.
Yes.
And the fact that that's happening means like, oh, wow.
Yes.
Our church body is coming alive. It's healthy. And that's something to look forward to. It doesn't mean something we do or plan. It's
Right.
watching our church come alive
Yep.
the way it's supposed to.
Well said.
That's exciting.
Awesome.
Well said.
Yeah.
Good. Well, anything else? We just have another minute or two. I'd love to, if there's anything else, or if there is a certain way that you have been praying for our community into 2026. I know for many of us, we'd love to join you in the ways that you're praying.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get excited about so many different things with the teaching series that are coming up. We've got Rasul Berry coming back in. Our church loved him so much when he was here last time.
And I think he liked us too.
I think he did. Yeah, absolutely.
We hope.
He's a cool
And
guy, yeah.
Charles and I were
Yeah.
with him in November
Yeah.
and had already set up things for him to come back. And
Yeah.
so I think that first week of March,
Something like
or
that.
somewhere around there.
He's part of the Exodus series.
Yeah, so it'll be so good to get him back.
Yeah.
And there's just different things like that I'm looking forward to. But when, so much of the way I feel like I have been praying is really with a lot of what Charles was just saying there, that that our church would continue to see the calling that God is uniquely placing on all of us, and not just waiting for leadership to say this is what we're going to do and they can hop on board, but seeing what are the things that God's calling them to. Who are the neighbors that God's calling them to reach out to, and what does that look like? That He's given each of us not just unique personalities and unique backgrounds, but unique callings and opportunities to be able to step into the message of the gospel in really cool ways. And that we would be a church who just sees that and gets that and understands that we would continue to be people who serve others and love others and share our faith with others, and that God would just continue to bless us as we're that type of a community.
I love that.
And I think for me, all of that, but for me, I think I look at the country we live in, our nation, and it continues to be an increasingly polarized and divided. And this is the world we live in. And I think there's room to be anxious and to lament and to be stressed about how divided things are and how oppositional everything is.
Regardless of what side you are on the
Yeah.
political
regardless,
spectrum,
but
it
this
does
is both
not matter.
sides. I think everybody is stressed. Like,
Yes.
wait, those other people believe entirely different things. How is that possible? And we're watching the same video and we see completely different things. How is this possible? And I think that's stressful, and it produces anxiety, and that can bleed into the church. And I think that's something I want to pray to protection against.
Yeah.
But what I would go beyond that is to say, wow, what an opportunity for our church to be different. We first and foremost, hey, we are a church that welcomes everybody, regardless of what political persuasion you are. We want people blue. We want people who are red.
Yep.
We want everybody here.
We're a
because
purple church.
Because
Yeah, really are.
we believe that the body of Christ, the unity that we have, is not based on uniformity. It's not based on we all believe the same things. But what we have is one Lord, one Christ, one faith, one baptism. And because of that, we have the teaching of Scripture that lays the foundational values that we then seek to live out. So our unity here, the way we talk to each other, the way we relate to each other, we love on each other, will show the world how God does it. And I think that's an opportunity we have as a church right here, right now.
Yes.
In this divided world,
Yes.
our unity shows the world how we're different.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I pray for.
Because there aren't tools that the world has for this.
No, they
right?
don't.
It's not.
They can't solve the
but-
problem.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way for them to resolve
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
except just to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are good words.
Amen to that. May
Yeah.
that be who we are and who we continue to become
Yes.
this year. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for jumping on here and sharing just
Thanks,
your
Tiff.
thoughts
Thanks for
and
this was fun.
ideas.
Thanks for inviting us.
We should do this more often.
Y'all can come on here anytime you
Come
want.
on.
So
Thanks.
fun. All right.
Isaac, you're always invited. Come and hang out with us in here, buddy.
He's our host.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks,
for
Isaac.
sure.
All right, you guys. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in for this week's podcast. We have a bunch of different podcast topics coming up. You're in for a treat. We're going to be doing some behind the scenes with different teams here at Blackhawk and kind of how God is moving and what they've been praying for. And so that'll be fun to kind of pull the curtain back on some of those. And then our care team is going to do a podcast takeover for 4 weeks, and
Wow.
and they're going to
Wow.
be equipping us as a community to know how to love one another well and to care for one another, and some of the ways that they minister and care for our church. And so I think it's going to be, I've looked at kind of what they're looking at, and it's going to be great. So
Good deal.
so stay tuned, subscribe, and make sure you don't miss an episode. All right, you guys, I will see you around.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Next Steps. Don't forget to check out the show notes for a list of resources if you'd like to keep the conversation going. If you want to learn more about how to get connected at Blackhawk or simply find tools to help you grow, check out blackhawk.church/hub. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe so you won't miss future episodes. Until next time, let's keep following Jesus together.